children. Good morning. Let's start with our chapter 2. And I'm going to share my screen. I'll just go back, children. And I'm there, children. Do not worry. Many of the students they may feel that Miss has gone somewhere. Please don't worry. I'm there. Okay, children, in the second chapter, okay, as I said, the chapter's name is matter around us pure? Okay, as the chapter's name is, I'll just show it to you so that at least you will be aware of it. So the chapter's name is matter around us pure? So the question that they are in this chapter 2 only they have asked us the question that is whatever matter we see around, whatever materials we see around us, whether it is pure or impure. Okay, so let's begin, children. So this is the introduction of the chapter. Like I'll show you the last session what we have seen. In the last session, we had children. Am I audible? Okay. Let's begin, children. So, according to the old philosophers, as I have told earlier, that matter is classified like whatever we see around us, it is composed of the five basic elements. Those are Panchatattva. But further, the term matter was introduced, and matter chapter 2, is matter around us pure, is classified into two categories. That is, one is of pure substance, and other will be impure substance, or that is mixture. So children, this we had started in the previous class, children. If you remember, I had shown you the periodic table, and the period whatever elements were introduced, as I have told earlier, children, like man is a social animal, man is an animal which, or we human beings have the highest thinking power. We think a lot. We have the logical thinking, we have the reasoning thinking. That means we can ask question why this is happening, what is the why this is actually, we can ask that reason, we can reason up. Yes, we can reason to the things whatever is happening around us. So let's, yeah, we can reason. We have the reasoning skills, children. We reason to the things. What is why this is happening? Why that is happening? We can reason. So, children, this is the basic table where matter is classified into two terms, or uh, two just categories. Those are pure substances, and one is impure substance. Impure substance is milavat wale substance. That means it has some other substances mixed into it. That is a mixture. So let's begin, children. In the old Maharajas, and the very just go back to many ages, children, many long years back, children. So when the elements were introduced, yeah, gold, silver, copper, zinc, these all elements were introduced. So man thought where to place, how to make these elements easier for study. So, three scientists, like us, one is Dobiner, one is Newland, one is Newland, one is Mendeleev. These three scientists, they came forward with the theory to place the elements in the periodic table. So this is the periodic table. As your mother keeps the clothes systematically in the cupboard, children, like in your house, everything in your kitchen, in your wardrobe, everything, if you observe, just take a look, children, have a look in your house. Your mother is she's a very systematic person. She keeps everything very systematically. Is that in anybody's house, all the fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers clothes up just dumped into one place? Never this happens. Yeah, never this is going to happen. You have different sections for different clothes, different, like in your kitchen also, your mother places like spices in one corner, salt, sugar section in one corner, crockery in one corner, then one corner all the vegetables. So we have different sections in our house. Then only it is very easier for us to take up the materials, to identify the materials. So same thing, children, when the elements were introduced, even man thought that let's keep the yeah, let's because if the elements are not placed systematically, it will become very difficult for it's going to, the study of the elements is going to be very difficult. So man introduced, that is scientists, three scientists, they came forward, Dobiner, Newland and Mendeleev. They came forward with a periodic table which was kind of failure. Then this periodic table which I have displayed in on my screen, that is the modern periodic table. Yeah, that is the modern periodic table. And this modern periodic table has the set of elements. Those set of elements, you can see the three set main categories are there in the periodic table. One is the metals, that is red ones which are highlighted. Those all are the metals, and the blue ones are the non-metals. And the last one, as I have told you, the lazier ones. Okay, the lazier ones at the last one, helium, neon, लेना नहीं देना नहीं कुछ भी नहीं आराम से, they are very lazy ones sitting at the last nice column, they are sitting. Helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, you can see HE, NE, AR, you can see at the last. Very nicely आराम से lazy fellows, because they are not at all involved in any of the chemical reactions. So आराम से they are sitting at the last. Those are the noble gases. Those are the noble gases, inert gases. Okay, so these blue ones, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, those are the non-metals, whereas these are the special ones, yellow ones, that means they are in the center of metals as well as the non-metals. So those are the metalloids. Metalloids, as I have shown you last period, metalloids are the metalloids have the properties of both metals as well as non-metals. This was already told in the last section, children. So all the elements, these all elements which are there in the periodic table, yeah, they are mainly classified as metals, non-metals and metalloids, and they are the pure substances. Because if I'm going to take any of the element, what I'm just going to I'm going to study the element, any of the element. Let's take carbon. I'm going to look at the element. You are going to find in carbon tiniest carbon particles only. No other elements will be, no other particles will be there in that element. So such elements which cannot be broken down into simpler substances are called, that's the proper definition of elements. And compounds. What is the meaning of compound? Element plus element. Take like now I have the periodic table. If I'm going to take two elements now, from the metal side, if I'm taking copper, okay, from metal side I'm taking copper, and I'm heating it. That means I'm just heating, means it's coming in contact with oxygen. So copper plus oxygen, that means copper oxide. So एक metal है, एक non metal है, it combines and it's going to give a, no, it's going to give a compound. So metal and non metal, even though if I'm combining two substances, yeah, they are added in the fixed proportion. They are added in the fixed proportion, and this the resulting product is a compound which is a mixture of copper and oxygen. Muted children, somebody is okay. So keep in mind, children, till now what we have seen, matter is classified into two categories: pure substances and impure substances. Impure substances are the mixtures. In what are the examples of pure substances? Elements and the compounds. Elements are present in the periodic table. You are going to find whichever elements are there in the periodic table, those are classified as metals, non-metals and metalloids. Further, children, what we have seen is about the compounds. Elements and elements, okay, एक element दूसरे element से combine होके you are going to get a compound. So if a pure substance combines with a pure substance, it forms a compound. Okay, so that was the thing, children. Let's proceed, children. Now we are going to study something about the mixtures. In the last period at least, we have seen what are the mixtures. So mixtures are classified as homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures. This homo word means one. So if you are mixing anything, okay, if you are mixing one or two any ingredients, and you are getting a clear solution. Let's take example. I'll just show you, because instead of speaking, when I'll show you something, then only you will get the correct idea. If children, I'm mixing salt into water, or I just have something chemistry compound. Let's say I'm going to mix copper sulfate in water. If I'm going to mix copper sulfate in water, I'm going to get a clear solution. You're going to get this kind of clear solution, and this clear solution shows that you will not find any kind of particles in it. Particles है ही नहीं उसमें. So this type of solution is called homogeneous mixture, because you're mixing something, but you're getting a clear solution, and that solution is a homogeneous mixture. Okay. So next one, children, about the heterogeneous mixture. Hetero means many. Hetero means many. So when you're combining something and you can see some particles into it, you can still find out some particles into it. So that one is the example of a heterogeneous mixture, and you can just classify heterogeneous mixture as colloids and look at this, suspensions. Just do not get confused, children. It is very easier one. Matter is classified as pure and impure substances. Pure substances may have elements and compounds. Impure substances may you're going to find homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. In homogeneous mixture, you're going to find solutions. जो भी clear वाले हैं, you will not find any particles. They form a pure, like, clear solution. Those are the homogeneous ones. And in some cases, you will find when you mix something and you find still the particles are there. Okay, you find really the particles are there. For example, let's take sand and water. When you mix sand and water, you can find the particles of sand. If you go on stirring, months le lo, years le lo, 10 saal le lo, 10 years, 20 years, if you go on stirring the sand into water, it is not going to get mixed up. You're still going to find those sand particles into it. So such mixtures are the heterogeneous mixtures. And in heterogeneous mixtures also you will find two categories, that is colloids and suspension. So in colloids you will find very tiny particles. Solution में तो particles ही नहीं है. Okay. In solution you will not find particles. In solutions you will not find any particles. In colloids you will find very fine particles, and suspensions at least you will find the particle sizes little bigger. So okay, so three categories are there. We have three types of mixtures. One is the solution, in which the particles are very small, which cannot be seen. Salt solution, copper sulfate solution, very small one. Colloids you will find the particles are like they are smaller. Yeah, they are smaller than the suspension, but they are little bigger than the solution. So colloids. Then next one is suspension. In suspension, the particles are little bigger in size than the colloids, than the particles of colloids. So let's see, children. Further, children, we will move forward. Now, children, we are going to see something about the okay, I'm going to show you something about the one thing, that's the filter. That's something about the, like, this is related to the mixture part, children. We are going to see the separation techniques. Okay, because mixtures to hai. So how can we separate those mixture? Okay, anything like homogeneous, at least usme party, they are very tiny ones. Yeah, if they're very, like, you'll find that obviously we will not study anything about the pure substances here, that we will not study about compounds and elements, but now we will begin with the study of separation of mixtures, because as we know mixtures are of two types, homogeneous and heterogeneous, and these mixtures can be separated by different techniques. So the first technique is the filtration. I think this is the technique which you have studied in your lower classes, but even though, I'll just show you the picture. In this filtration technique, you're going to take a funnel, okay, and you're going to insert, you're going to place a filter paper, which is you're going to make a cone of a filter paper. Your teachers have shown you this in your lower classes, children. Even though this thing, same thing you have in your class 9 also. So you have to take up filter paper. Usually the filter paper is round. You have to fold it nicely, first fold, second fold, and you have to make a cone out of it, and you're going to place that cone. You have to stick with the help of water into the funnel. Once you have completed this, then you're going to take a mixture of sand and water. Look at this. When you mix sand and water, the particles of sand are a little bigger. So, can we use the method of salt solution here, children? Can we use this method for salt solution? Can anybody tell me? Can we use this method for salt solution? Can anybody tell me? Can we? Why can't we use? Why can't we use this method? Yeah, very good. Salt dissolved in water and so what method we are going to do for separation? Let's see further. So here what we are going to do with the help of a glass rod, we are going to pour the mixture of sandy water into the funnel. So what is going to happen? The complete solution, that is the heterogeneous mixture, is going to get filtered, and the water will get collected into the beaker, and you're going to find the sand will, because the sand particles cannot pass through the filter paper, so it will get settled onto the filter paper. So this method where we can use in the case of heterogeneous mixture, we can use in the case of heterogeneous mixture where the particles of the solute are bigger in size. So this is the first method. Abhi, now I said that salt solution can be separated by this. Yeah, can we separate? No, you all said no, miss, we cannot separate. So what we can do for the separation of salt? We have to go for the evaporation process in the sea area, in the mainly sea area. You're going to find so simple salt pans are constructed. Oh, yeah, salt pans, not, they don't need any kind of construction with the bricks and cement and all, but they construct using that same the sand and the salt. They prepare a net like structure, big net like structure, and like sections different, how like salt pans, and the salt natural with the natural heat of the sun, the water gets evaporated, and the sand is going to the salt is going to get collected. This is by the natural evaporation process. Same thing, children, if I have a mixture of dye and water. Okay, let dye and water, like, leave whatever ink we use in our day to day. I'll just show you something. If we have ink, okay, if I'm going to use ink, I think everybody knows nowadays at least you use ball pens, but in the olden days where the ink was used, okay, where the ink was used, like this type of ink, that's the blue color ink, very beautiful blue color ink. I'm going to take blue color ink into the watch glass. This is experiment 2, where I'm going to take blue color ink into that watch glass, and I'm going to take water in a beaker, or you can heat it directly, children. Okay, no issues. And once you are going to heat it, the water in the ink, okay, the water in the ink gets evaporated, and you're going to find the blue color powdered ink is going to get left out into the watch glass. So we can separate the solid dye, that is ink, with the help of by the help of the process of evaporation. So this is the second method where the particles of the solute are very small. Yeah, in the case of salt solution, sugar solution, also you can do this by the evaporation method, because here we cannot use the filtration process. Previously, we had used the filtration process for sandy water because sand particles are obviously bigger. Yeah, because bigger, so easily we can filter and we can separate sand particles. But by the method of evaporation, by this, when the solute particles are very microscopic, very tiny, so in such cases, we can make use of this kind of evaporation process. So let's move further, children. After this, children, this was the second method. First one was this filtration. Second one is evaporation. Third one is the, nowadays, children, when you go to the doctor, yeah, it's very dangerous. Also, going to the doctor has become very difficult. It's very like first thing, like in the normal days when we go to the doctor suggest always, whenever you go, like something is wrong in your body, you are not well, the first thing doctor says is go for a blood test. Because our blood, look at this, this is a microscopic structure. It's a you can see the microscopic cells in our blood. We have three types of cells in the blood. One is RBC, that is red blood cells. You will find white blood cells and the platelets. So these three cells are very important, children. So how the doctor will come to know that something is wrong in our body? So first thing, doctor takes a sample, and these samples are collected in a tube. You can see the tube, glass tubes, and then it is centrifugated. You can see it is centrifugated. This same thing happens in your mixer grinder, children. When your mother prepares chutney, yeah, some same thing. The mixer keeps on rotating, and the chutney, you will find the big coconut and the chilies are converted into fine paste. Same thing happens here. Our blood has tiny cells which are separated by the from the plasma, from the thin liquid like structure which is there in the blood, by the centrifugation process. Then the doctor observes these cells. He is going to observe these cells, and he's going to find out what is wrong in your cells. He's going to observe under microscope, and he's going to see, yes, red blood cells are less, white blood cells are, something is wrong. If red blood cells are less, obviously you have less hemoglobin. So less hemoglobin means what is going to, you're suffering from anemia. That's a disease. Yeah, anemia, that is lack of RBCs, less number of RBCs. If white blood cells are less, that means your like the immunity system, that the immunity power has become less. Platelets are less, that means blood clotting system is less. Something is wrong in the clotting system. So looking at the, by the centrifugation process, doctor observes the cells of your blood, and looking at the count, blood count, the cell count, he diagnoses whether the person is suffering from anemia, or the person is suffering from any immunity problems, or any of the blood clotting problems. So this was the second method, that is the centrifugation. This is the one more method. You look at this. This is the samples are placed in the test tubes, and nicely they are rotated. This process is the centrifugation process, where the tiniest particles, very tiniest particles, are separated from the liquid. So even where we have used it in one more method, we look at this baking process also. Look at this. During the baking process also, even the curd formation, when your mother prepares curd, she is going to rotate, she is going to churn. We have a churner in the house. Also, we can use in the mixer grinder. You can churn it in the mixer grinder, and the curd is separated from the, sorry, butter is separated from the buttermilk. So, somebody has joined. Okay, this was the method of the centrifugation, children. In the centrifugation method, you're going to find that the sample is rotated, and the whatever solid, very fine solid particles are there, those are going to get separated from the liquid. So this is one of the method where the this is one of the separation method, where the very tiny particles can be separated from the mixture. So first method which we have studied, everyone, the first method was filtration. Second method which we had studied was evaporation. By these methods we can separate the mixtures. Third method what we have studied is the centrifugation. Next thing, children, is the now, for example, I have two liquids. Okay, I have two such liquids which do not get mixed up. Okay, it happens in your house sometimes by mistake. If oil gets mixed up into water, obviously oil is never going to get dissolved, or it's not miscible in water. So what is going to happen when oil gets mixed up into water, or by chance if something happens and oil can gets mixed up into water, so that time what you can do, just keep it stable, keep it undisturbed. So what is going to happen, the oil layer, because oil is lighter than the water, it's going to float on the top. It's going to form a distinct layer on the top of the water, and you are going to find, look at this type of solution. If you find, obviously you're going to find two such layers. And in chemistry laboratory, okay, or in your house also you can do it, children. But in chemistry lab, we make use of a separating funnel. In the separating funnel, it's a glass funnel, where you can find there's a stopcock, okay, and that mixture of oil and water, kerosene and water, is just poured into the separating funnel. After pouring into the separating funnel, it is kept undisturbed. So what is going to happen if it is kept undisturbed? You're going to find two distinct layers, two different layers of kerosene and water, oil and water. So here, oil and water is used. Yeah, it is separate. We are going to try to separate them. So first thing, you are going to keep it undisturbed. You're going to find two such layers of it, and then you're going to open the stopcock. After opening the stopcock, that is the knob there, you can see the knob. After opening the knob, you can remove, you can just you can allow the liquid to flow out, and then the first liquid will obviously be water, because it's heavier than the oil, that the second liquid. So you can, first thing, you can collect water from the separating funnel, that is a mixture of oil and water, and then oil can be separated easily. So this was the third method, where we can separate the immiscible liquids. The first methods were used for separating a solid and a liquid. We were having a mixture of solid and a liquid. Like for example, sand water can be separated by filtration process. Then ink can be separated by evaporation process, as the particles are very small. Then the centrifugation, the particles are very very small there. So like very microscopic ones, such particles also can be separated by centrifugation process. But here now we are trying to separate two liquids, and here two liquids which we have used are immiscible with each other. They are immiscible. That means they do not get mixed up with each other. So here I have taken oil and water, and the second also alternative we can use, that is kerosene and water. So such liquids can be separated by using separating funnel. Okay. So this was the method. Now children, as next one we have is the two miscible liquids. Okay, now the liquids are miscible. I'll just show you the setup. First what you're going to now, where the liquids were oil and water and kerosene and water, they do not get mixed up with each other. But now there are some liquids which get mixed up with each other. Yeah, easily. How you can separate them now? Okay, two liquids which are miscible ones. So what you are going to do here, there is a process called as chromatography. Okay, chromatography is the method where two liquids which are miscible means जो mix होते हैं, okay, they get mixed up with each other. Now let's take example of your I'll just show in your day-to-day life, children. Now, best example is your gel pen, children. Okay, or your ink, or your flat markers. Okay, many a times, like for projects and all, you make use of your flat markers nicely. You're drawing nice lines, border, you're coloring, and if that book gets wet due to the rains, okay, the paper is going to get wet due to the rains. So what is going to happen? The ink gets spread out, okay, the marker ink, the gel pen ink, it's going to get spread out, and that ink, if you have such permanent marker inks, children, those are the inks are the mixture of two or more dyes, especially black color. If you observe, you will find when it spreads, you will find a purple tint into it, purple color into it. So black color is a mixture of two or more tints, two or more color. So how can we separate it, children? We can make separate it by a method called chromatography. So the blue paper, you are going to take a chromatography paper. If you don't have a chromatography paper, you can make use of a filter paper. एक filter paper लेना है, and you are going to place it in, just you are going to stand, you're going to allow it to stand straight still into the into the beaker, or into a just into a simple you can make use of a container, into which you are going to add a solvent, that is water or any other solvent we can use. And then you're going to take a filter paper or a chromatographic paper. Chromatographic paper is like a filter paper only, and into that chromatography paper you are going to draw a line. You can see a pencil line drawn at the bottom, and onto the line you are going to put a tiny drop of the solvent, or the you're just going to put a tiny drop of the mixture of the dyes. I'm going to take like for example, if I'm taking red and blue dye, okay, red ink I'm mixing into blue ink, and I'm going to place into that into that, just on, like you're going to take a tiny sample, and you're going to put it on the pencil line which you have drawn at the bottom, which is about 2 centimeter onto that filter paper. So once you're going to draw the line with a pencil, you're going to place the drop of that ink, and then what is going to happen, children, that filter paper will absorb water. वो पानी absorb करेगा. So as it absorbs the water, it's going to take that ink also along with it, because pani to hai, because that tiny sample we have placed into that line, into that chromatographic area. So what is going to happen, that tiny drop sample of ink has two or more dyes. So when the chromatographic paper is going to absorb water, it's going to take the solvent, it's going to absorb the water in the upward direction. It is going to take away, it is also going to it's going to absorb the dye, and you're going to find two fine dots. One will be of red ink, one will be of blue ink. So in such a way, or in such a beautiful manner, we can separate the dyes, the mixture of dyes. I'll just show you one more picture where you can easily, somebody has joined, I think. Okay. So you can look at this. You are going to take a beaker. Okay, you are going to take a beaker, and then into that beaker you are going to take a solvent, water you are going to take, and at the bottom you are going to draw a line with a pencil, and then you are going to put a sample of sample drop of mixture. That is, the mixture is of red and blue ink. Okay, the mixture is of red and blue ink. So as the paper absorbs the water, okay, as the paper absorbs the water, it's going to take the dye also along with it. So kya hoga, when it goes in the upward direction, you will find the dots, you will find two distinct dots, two different dots. One will be of red ink and other will be of blue ink. So in such a manner, we have separated two mixture of two miscible liquids. Miscible liquids means what? वो एक दूसरे के साथ mix हो जाते हैं. They get mixed up with each other. So which was the first method? I'll just go follow up. This is a follow up, children. First one was the filtration of sandy water. Second one was the evaporation of dye. The third method which we have learned, that is centrifugation method, and the next method, that was the immiscible liquid, by the separation of immiscible liquid by the use of separating funnel. And then we have just now we have seen the chromatographic method. Chromatography method is used for separation of dyes. Okay, separate dye is nothing but color, children. Okay, hair dye, it's all like it's a color. So we are separating the miscible liquids. Now, children, further, now we have such liquids. Okay, I'm going to show you something. This is the setup. Okay, now we have such liquids where, like, even the such liquids that if you want to do the separation of liquids in a large quantity. Okay, in a large quantity, that means liquids and liquids. Now, if using the chromatographic paper, at least we can see that the colors are separated. But that is about the colorful liquids. Okay, we are using some dyes there. But now, दो liquid है जो transparent है. Okay, and they get mixed up with each other. How you are going to separate it? Now, in this method, you're going to take a round bottom flask. Into it, you're going to take the mixture of both the liquids. Now here we are going to take the mixture of water. What is the boiling point of water? 100 degrees Celsius. And दूसरा liquid जो लिया है, the second liquid which we are going to take, or by mistake if it has got mixed up, the second type of liquid is acetone. What is happening in the picture, children? I think everybody is familiar to this. You have seen the process of applying nail paint, children. When you apply nail paint, okay, when you apply nail paint, there's a nice beautiful liquid in that bottle. Very, you'll find a small glass bottle. In that liquid, in that you're going to find very different colors. Nowadays it is very black, blue, green, different colors of pigments. Pigment, different colors of nail paints you're going to find. Such pigment nail paint is actually a mixture of acetone. Okay, it's a mixture of acetone plus color. Okay, acetone plus color. So when you apply nail paint, the color which is there in that nail paint, the color which is there in that acetone, it's going to get settled onto the nails, and the liquid, where it goes, children? Is it water? No, if it is not water, children, the liquid which is used here, it is acetone. Yeah, acetone, which gives a beautiful you're going to find it gives a beautiful shine. Along with that, acetone gets vanished away very soon. It is very, when doctors also, before doctor they apply, they before injections, they apply a liquid onto your body, onto that area where he's going to inject that that very cool liquid is acetone. Very cool, it vanishes away very soon. It is a volatile liquid, like how in sublimation we have seen about the camphor, which sublimes solid hota hai, gases में convert hota hai फटक से. So same way, children, this is a liquid which gets converted into gas very soon. So this type of liquid, that is acetone, 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 it is a volatile liquid. Volatile, tile, volatile liquid. So we are going to take a mixture of water and volatile liquid. Now what is going to happen? Acid, the boiling point of acetone, like we are going to find the difference of the boiling point, because we are going to heat it, children, we are going to boil them. The first liquid is the water. Water's boiling, the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius, and the second liquid, that is acetone, is 56 degrees Celsius. तो अभी दोनों को heat करना है. After heating, children, you can see a blue color condenser. Blue color, can you see something? So in that blue color, okay, that blue color is nothing but it is the condenser, children, where there is continuous supply of cold water, and you're going to find a delivery tube inside that you are going to find. Prithvish, you want to tell something, children? Dear Prithvish, Prithvish, you're trying to present something. No, no, just Prithvish, where he went? Okay, somebody is presenting. Please just stop that. Prithvish, you're sharing your screen. Just stop that. Okay, I'll just help you out. If you don't know how to stop that. Okay, so this was the distillation process. This was the distillation process. In the distillation process, you can separate the liquids. Can you see the screen, children? Why you can't see? Because somebody else was presenting. That was a problem. Please don't do this, children. Why you want to share in middle only? Something. Everyone muted. Now you can see the screen. Yeah. So in this process, I'm going to take two liquids. The first liquid is water. You're going to take a mixture of liquid. First liquid is water, and the second liquid is acetone. Acetone is a volatile liquid which gets directly gets vanished up. It gets evaporated very soon. That is the liquid which is used in nail paints also by the doctor. Doctors, it is used. So you're going to take the mixture in a round bottom flask. अभी उसको heat करना है, and you're going to close the round bottom flask with cork, that is a brown color cork, so that the vapors shouldn't go out. So vapors कहाँ जाएंगे? Vapors will go to the delivery tube. You can see the fine delivery tube which is there inside the, it is connecting the round bottom flask and the condenser. So first thing what is going to happen, the first liquid you are going to find the liquid जिसका boiling point कम है. Okay, it's going to boil up very fast. Now first liquid, that is acetone, it will get boiled up very fast and उसका vapor जल्दी से होगा क्योंकि वो boil up जल्दी होगा. Yes, it's going to get boiled up very soon. So what is going to happen? The vapors are going to get passed, they are going to pass through that delivery tube, and then in that condenser, vapors are going to get condensed. Due to that condenser, वो blue color, you can see that blue color condenser is attached. The water is not mixing, but वो बाहर से it's going to condense the vapors of the acetone. So first thing, the you can see that there into the condenser there will be continuous supply of cold water so that it can condense the vapor. Condense matlab kya? Like for example, if mother is boiling, like she's boiling milk and vapors of the milk they come out, then she's going, if she closes the milk with that lid, okay, if she closes the milk with the lid, after few minutes you will find small bubbles of water onto that lid. So that is condensation, where gases get convert into water. Gases get condensed into water. Same process हो रहा है यहाँ पे. What is happening? First thing, the acetone gets vaporized. वो vaporize होता है, boil up होता है, and the vapors of acetone are going to pass through the condenser. Vapors, when they pass through the condenser, it's going to get converted into water. वो condense होगा. That gases will get condensed. It will, when it get condenses, it get converted into water. So first liquid will be collected into the into the conical flask there, and the second liquid, अभी इनका boiling point, तो you should know that yes, correct at 56 you can attach a thermometer there. Look, correct at 56 ये boil हुआ है, मतलब ये liquid कौन सा है? Acetone है, because everybody's boiling point is noted earlier, only we know about them. So second liquid, correctly it gets boiled up at 100 degrees Celsius, means that is water. So in this way we can separate two liquids which are transparent one and which have, we know the boiling point, like you should attach a thermometer to identify which are those liquids. So once if the liquid gets like vaporized get at 56 degrees Celsius, so first liquid acetone collect hua and the second liquid can be separated, that is water. Okay, this was the method of distillation. This is the distillation process where two liquids are separated. Okay, two transparent liquids are separated which have the boiling point, which are far away from each other. Like एक का boiling point 56 है, दूसरे का boiling point 100 degrees. See the difference, children. They have lot of difference in the boiling point. अभी इसमें there will be some liquids which has the boiling point very nearby. Okay, for example, when let's say gases they have like very nearby, they have boiling points. So what to do? How to separate those gases now? Now by this method at least we cannot separate gases. Like if they are they have the less difference between the point. यहाँ पे एक का boiling point 56 है and other one was having 100 degree Celsius. Like water का तो 100 degree Celsius है, acetone 56. So easily it can be separated. Like you can see slowly the process is happening. But if boiling point एकदम पास में है, if the boiling point is very nearby, there is no such difference. ओके एकदम पास में बॉइलिंग पॉइंट, तो फटाक से दोनों लिक्विड इवोपरेट हो गए, यू विल नॉट कम टू नो ओनली बोथ मिक्स अगेन, इट विल गोइंग टू गेट मिक्स्ड अप. सो फॉर सच लिक्विड्स वेयर द बॉइलिंग पॉइंट इज वेरी नियर बाय, ओके बॉइलिंग पॉइंट फटाक से जो एक दूसरे के साथ लाइक बॉइलिंग पॉइंट वेरी सून इट्स गोइंग टू बॉइल अप वेरी सून, वेपराइज वेरी सून. तो इन सच केसेस वी कैन मेक यूज ऑफ fractional distillation method. Okay, we can make use of fractional distillation method. It is not like you will not find any such difference. You are not going to find like distillation method, and here also there is, here it is one and the same, children. दोनों भी method one and the same है, but something different you can see. You can see the fraction column there. On the top you can see small cubes are placed. Those are not ice cubes, but there is a cube which is there is a tube which is attached to the attached to the round bottom flask. What tube? There's a glass tube into which you are going to find glass pieces. You're going to find small glass pieces into it. So what is going to happen, children? Abhi do liquids now in this process. Mainly gases are separated. We have the separation of gases. First thing, children, you have to we as we have learned earlier. Okay, we have learned earlier. Like air is a mixture of gases. Okay, so air, if I want to convert in air is a gas and I want to convert into a liquid. Okay, air को liquid में convert करना है तो क्या करेंगे? So you have to pressurize it. Okay, you have to pressurize it, children. So now only you can just simple experiment, children. I'll just we breathe out gas, children. Yes or no? We breathe out gas. So you just blow onto a glass surface. A glass surface may you have windows, you have your glass in your house. You just take a glass and blow air onto it. थोड़ा एयर ब्लो करो. After blowing you will find that you will find water on little water onto that glass area. That means you are applying pressure. like बहुत pressure से gas force किया है glass पे. So then you are going to find gas is going to get converted into water. So when gas is pressurized, gas को under pressure रखा है, so it's going to get converted into liquid. Same thing, children. You are going to take a mixture of gas. Abhi gas, you cannot burn gases, children. You cannot put gases into this round bottom flask. So what you have to do, you have to pressurize the gas. Air को pressurize करना है. Pressure करे under pressure. If you are going to keep the gas, you are going to get liquefied gas. That liquefied gas you can put into the round bottom flask and then use the same method. Heat that container, the round bottom flask. After heating you can easily find agar like if the you can see that easily the first liquid is going to get, yeah, first liquid you're going to find it's going to get heated. It will be which has the least boiling point. It will get collected in the container by the same condensation method, and the second liquid can be collected. So this was the method where this is the fractional distillation method where the liquids have they have less difference between their boiling points. अगर ज़्यादा difference है boiling point में, so you can easily go for the distillation method. But such liquids which I have a mixture of such liquids which have less boiling point का difference है. एक boil होता है फटाक से boil होता है, दूसरा भी फटाक से boil होता है. No such difference. So if you're going to try to separate here, it's going to like both the liquids again they are going to boil up and they are going to get mixed up. So here we are going to make use of a fractional column. So this is the fractional column where into that fractional column you will find small glass pieces. So till now, children, so many separation methods we have studied. First one was filtration, that is for the sandy particles, sand and water. Second one which we have seen, that is evaporation of dye. That means ink को evaporate किया तो you are going to get a small powder, like small particles of ink, like a small very fine powder of ink. Next, we have studied about the centrifugation process, that is about the that is related to the blood. Okay, blood urine test. Then we have the in the separation of curd, when your mother not separation of curd, but when you try to separate butter from the buttermilk. So such methods, for such methods where the particles are very small, centrifugation processes used. When the liquids are immiscible, we have seen that for the immiscible matlab they do not get mixed up with each other. They are going to form two distinct layers. Okay, so such liquids can be separated by separating funnel. I'll just show you the picture so that you will not get confused. So this is a separating funnel where the immiscible liquids are separated. Then we have the sublimation method also, children, which I have taught you earlier. Sublimation method where you're going to take the you're going to take a mixture of salt and you're going to take a mixture of salt and ammonium chloride in a container, and then you're going to invert the funnel. You're going to you're going to cover up the funnel with a cotton plug and then heat up that mixture. You will find the ammonium chloride fumes or the vapors onto they get condensed, or they're going to get collected onto the inverted funnel. That was sublimation, which was earlier taught to you. Then we have seen about the chromatography method, where we can separate the dye. अभी यहाँ पे colorful liquid है, you can separate the dye from each other. The mixture of red and blue dye, you can see the two dots there, that means we have separated the dye. अभी liquid अगर ज्यादा quantity में है and imagine they are colorless, so for that purpose we are going to use distillation process where boiling point, one first liquid which has jaldi se boil hota hai, so it's going to get vapor, it's going to vaporize very soon, and then by the condensation process first liquid can be separated, but then the second liquid will be there in the round bottom flask. Then if the liquids have more like they have the more difference in the boil, like more difference in the boiling point, can be separated by distillation process. अगर जल्दी से boil दोनों भी liquid फटाक से boil होता है, they get boiled, they have less difference in the boiling point, so for that purpose we use this fractional distillation process. Then we have, children, the one more process, that is the separation of gases. Now children, right now if you observe, gas is very important. The gas, oxygen, everybody is struggling for oxygen cylinders. Yeah, so we should know how the oxygen, how the only oxygen cylinders are made, children, because gas is, air is a mixture, children. How come we breathe in only oxygen? How come oxygen cylinders are separate, like oxygen is separated from the air and filled into the cylinders? So look at this, air is taken and it is compressed first. Okay, it is pressurized first. Look at this, air is taken in the container. How oxygen is separated, children? Look at this, children. A very beautiful concept is there. How oxygen cylinders are made. You can explain this to your friends, those who don't know about how only oxygen is filled into the containers, into the cylinders. So first air is taken into the containers. It is compressed. Compressed means बहुत like under, it is compressed under high pressure. उसको बहुत ही heat चाहिए, and it needs lot of pressure. After heating up the air and after compressing it, you are going to find it goes to the next container where it is cooled. Air को cool पहले उसको compress करते हैं and it is heated up. Then the air goes to the next container, and through the next container you are going to find liquid. जिसका जिसका boiling point कम है वो फटाक से it's going to get collected very soon. So first liquid nitrogen, after cooling, after the compressed air is cooled, the liquid nitrogen is left out. Okay, it is collected. पहले nitrogen collect होता है, then it goes to the next container. Okay, जो बचा हुआ air है, it goes to the remaining air, goes to the next container. In the next container it is liquefied. Liquefied means obviously if the air is again pressurized, it's totally going to get converted into liquid. So further, children, at minus 200 degrees Celsius, imagine it's such a like it's such a lowest temperature, children. It is the air is sent to the container where you are going to find at the higher level. Okay, at the higher level. Okay, still you are going to find that when it is passed, you will find it is a big container. At the top you are going to find the nitro, because it's lighter, nitrogen gas is lighter. From the top region the liquefied nitrogen gas is collected, and at minus 185 degrees Celsius you are going to find liquid oxygen. Oxygen is liquefied, children, and it is separated. So obviously if you observe the percentage of the gases in the air, nitrogen, the nitrogen तो ज़्यादा percent है. Oxygen is also there in you will find oxygen percentage is also like we require it, children. So children, other gases, negligible gases, during the compression process only they are separated. They go they are collected very easy. They can be collected very easily at the last, children, because oxygen and nitrogen, look at the their compression degrees, and then oxygen cylinder. This liquid oxygen is collected into the cylinder. Did you get how the gas is collected into the cylinders, how oxygen cylinders are provided now? So this air is collect first, it is heated and compressed. Further, it is compressed and it is cooled. First heat किया है and compress किया है. Then it is compressed and it is cooled. First heat and compress, then cool and compress. Then it is passed into a big container. Yeah, it is liquefied, it is pressurized, and then you can collect separately. There will be collection of nitrogen gas and oxygen gas, and this oxygen gas will be collected into the cylinders. Children, I know I have taken extra time. Children, please last one, and then we will end up with the chapter. So let's children, last one, it is related to the water, how water is separated children, because from the sea, rivers, there will be so dirty water children. That dirty water is collected in the sedimentation tank, where sediment means small dirty particles like stone, pebbles, leaves, plastics. They are going to get settled down. Further, it is sent to the filtration tank. Filtration tank means what? The water is filtered. The tiny particles which is there in the water, like you will find in the filter, you are going to find gravel there. The gravel is nothing but small pieces of stones, pebbles. Fine sand is there, even what that water is passed through it, so that whatever tiny particles of any dirty particles are there, dirt particles are going to get settled down, and then it is passed into the chlorination tank. In the chlorination tank, you are going to find in the chlorination tank the chlorine is added, because tiny particles can be separated, तो germs तो रहेगा ही पानी में, so that germs are going to get killed off by the chlorination process. In the chlorination process, you will find chlorine is added into the tank, and then to kill the bacteria, whatever left out bad, because bacteria cannot be killed by the sedimentation process or the filtration process. Bacteria, even though pani filter hota hai, you will find bacteria in it. So that bacteria is killed by the chlorination process. The government does this work, and then water is supplied to the home children. Okay, from the rivers. Now, did you wonder children from how come wonder government sends the water from the seas and rivers? It's so dirty children. Rainwater, well, rainwater is the purest water, but when it falls on the ground children, it gets mixed up into the, you will find n number of impurities will be there in that water. So कैसे impure करते हैं government? So government, when it sends the water, it is collected in the big reservoir, big tank. Then it is sent to the sedimentation tank. If it has some sand particles, any other leaf or any other leaves or any dried leaves, any particles, or it's going to get sedimented by the sedimentation process. Further, it goes to the filtration tank. Filter किया फिर भी उसमें germs रहेगा. You will have bacteria in it. Then it is sent to the chlorination tank, and further children, after the chlorination, it is sent to the houses. It is sent to our homes. So this was about the purification of water. I am assuming that you have understood it. Now everybody has to tell me what is happening in the picture, children. This is the last thing of the chapter. What is happening, children, in the picture? Wax is melting and something else is happening, children. You will find the thread-like structure in the candle which gets burned off. The thread is nothing but the wick, WICK. So that thread is here. Two things are happening simultaneously, children. One thing you're going to find, the wax